Ladies and gentlemen, I am making up for yesterday. We are live. What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Thank you for being here. Got a surprise for you in a little bit. Before we get started, please read the disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I have no idea what your situation is. Please do your own due diligence. And remember, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. And with that being said, what's going on? Rusty, second place. Ray, what is going on? Star is here. Chels, sixth place. Whoa. I don't know what's going on here. Was it too many steps? I don't know. Parzival, what's going on? Joni, how are you? Tesla Granny's here trying to change my mind on Tesla. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate it. I got to tell you, I got to have a conversation with Amit about that top button. You only button the top button if you're wearing a tie. Otherwise, you don't button that top button. It is so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. Milk time, Ray. That's right. William, what's going on? How are you? Chef Mike is here. Thank you, everybody. Big Door Jello. What's going on? Emperor Gordon, Long Island. What part? And yes, I heard the news. Originally, I thought Amit was going to do some of the streams next week. I will hold it down next week. Don't you worry. We got a lot to go over, and it looks like the markets are trying to rebound. Let's get into it. And before my surprise, I really want to listen to something that was just on CNBC. My guy was on there. A lot of you probably don't know who he is, but I do want to listen to it. I don't know if everybody's going to care about it or not, so we'll take a chance on that. Anyway, let's get to it. I got some announcements to make. Start a new position today. We may actually start a second new position. Michelle, what's going on? Michelle, did you make Ray any croissants today? Need to know. Asking for a friend. All right. Brent, 72.21. WTI crude, 68.78. Pretty damn happy about that. Got a little reversal. The indexes. We are now greeny, green. Whoa. Stop the presses. We have an upgrade. Cinnamon croissants. That's incredible. I love it. Tommy Dimes. Gold 3,500. We'll see what happens. Michelle, I don't even know what this is. Too wrong foo? What is that? I have no idea. The S&P is up 17. The NASDAQ is up 49 and the Dow Jones is up 143. This market is trying not to be shook, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see where we're at. Tech is bleeding out a little bit. But you know what? It looks like today is software's day. Oh my God, I am the worst. Just whatever I don't do works. Just remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever I don't do works. TKO is up 6% today. Just seriously, whatever I don't do, just it works. I don't get it. I said that was going to happen. I did not buy it. Heartbreaker. Reddit is up 6.2% today, so at least I got that going for me. ServiceNow up 8%. Zeta up 5.87%. Palantir, what is TKO? TKO owns the WWE and the UFC and Zuffa Boxing. Rocket Lab is up to 85. We're getting back to somewhere. Hopefully, that goes back over 100, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Palantir 113. I'm going to put it in the comments section. I wrote a new article on Palantir where I officially, and I said on the stream that I was going to go bullish. I made it official on Seeking Alpha. The link to the article is here. Upgrading to bullish after a record quarter meets a 48% sell-off. Same reasons that I said. I think the forward valuation now looks palatable. I think it looks interesting. And I think they keep expanding earnings. I think there's a misconception about what OpenAI and Anthropic can do compared to Palantir. We'll see if I'm right. Snowflake up. Microsoft trying to do something, up 5%. I bought some yesterday. Hood up almost 5%. Salesforce running down a dream, trying to get back to 160. Tesla 386. SoFi trying to get to 18. Meta 555. Third best numbers in CeeLo. The only thing that beats it is trip sixes and a 456. 1, 2, 3, you lose your turn. Amazon 232. SpaceX holding 150. Apple coming back after the news, 278. Verizon 4637. Let's see who the big losers are. SanDisk bleeding out, giving some back from yesterday. Nebius bleeding out. Marvell 266. CoreWeave 9481. ARM 334. Cisco 114. Micron down 3%. Can't be mad at that. Had a big pump yesterday. AMD 515. Lena's favorite company. Broadcom, I'm not understanding this. I got to look more into it. 369. I think it should be higher. Oracle 150.75. Man, this is round tripped. If we get back down to 135, this will have round trip. Rachel, I don't hate that move. Give me one sec. Oh, boy. All right. Amit, I see. I'm not going to text. I see what you said, and we'll figure it out tomorrow. Just shoot me a text. And by the way, you only button the top button if you're wearing a tie. There is no need to button the top button if you do not have a tie on. It just looks weird having a tie on and not using that button. Keep that in mind, man. Keep that in mind. Take two, down $2.50. I am on the fence. I did so much reading and I watched so many videos last night about GTA 6. I may not like the valuation here that much. I may not like the revenue. I believe in the story, and I believe that the analyst community is wrong the way that Tanner believed the analyst community was wrong about Micron's forward earnings. They are making a full-blown economy off of GTA 6. I think that this is going to be a huge moneymaker for years and years and years. Huge. Exxon Mobil 136 falling a little bit. Iren 47. Qualcomm 203. NVIDIA coming back a little bit. It was down to 193. It's at 195. Enbridge 56. Google basically flat, and big old scary Mo 73.17. I will never forget the phone call that I placed to Amit and Chris about this 2.5 years ago. And I said, listen, I may hate the company from what they do, but you know what? Business is business, and business is picking up, and the dividend yield exceeded the forward earnings. And you know what? This has rallied from about 42 to 73, locked in a 10% plus yield on that one. Erwin is here. Just got a lot better looking in the chat. What's going on, Erwin? And then you got Jake Rizzo, SpaceX, holding it down above 150. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So I started a new position It is a income producing asset. Dougie, if you're in the chat, I apologize. I meant to call you yesterday and I didn't. I'm going to call you over the weekend to discuss this. What has become my favorite ETF shop at the moment, Neos Investments. Now, I am not saying anybody should do this. I did not buy a lot. It's not a real position. It's in my dividend harvesting portfolio for Seeking Alpha. I started the Neos boosted NASDAQ 100 high income ETF. I happen to think it's very interesting. Fits well in my portfolio. Did I see that Michael Burry bought Microsoft calls? I did. Yes, Neos Investments. And we got a lot of news. We got a lot of stuff to go over. I do want to see what my guy said on CNBC. So I'm going to roll the tape. I have no idea what he said. We're only going to watch it for like a minute. I don't know what he's going to say, but we're going to find out. Amit's going to be laughing so hard when I play this. I don't even know if he knows it was on CNBC. He hears me talk about this guy, or used to hear me talk about him quite often. Are you guys serious? This is not. Why does it do that? I'm telling you, I shared it with the audio. The audio share is on. Let's try it again.
Michael Saylor might be to blame for the recent volatility in the crypto space. Joining us in a first on CNBC interview is Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple, of course, a member of CNBC's Disruptor 50 list. It's great to have you back at the NYSE, Brad. Good to see you.
Great to be back.
So when they were a seller for the first time in a while, strategy that is, that got a lot of notice. Do you think that started something?
I think it definitely started something. And, I think the challenge is it added some excitement on the way up. And now that's compounding on the way down as well. And so as we have seen, crypto is going to go through its cycles. Many asset classes do that. I think because they were using leverage, Michael Saylor would characterize it differently than leverage per se. But at the end of the day, it was leverage. And then you start to see that in a place that can actually compound negatively. I mean, seeing their the particular thing they have pegged at 100 now trade, I think 25% below par, is a pretty damning indictment. And I don't think that's helped the market.
Yeah, a ticker, if the booth is wondering, that would be STRC, which we're watching closely. I mean, there's been a lot of ink spilled on how Saylor protects the preferred, protects the currency, and protects the equity. Do you think one should come first?
Look, I actually think what should come first is focusing on what's going to drive long-term value. And I think that financial engineering does not drive long-term value. I said actually on CNBC 5 or 6 years ago that I thought the long-term value of any digital asset is going to be driven by utility. And if it's solving a problem at scale for real customers, you're going to see liquidity, you're going to see demand, you're going to see trust in that asset. Those things compound in a positive way. And I think if you're just trying to financial engineer and leverage and borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin, it's kind of like, look, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think I subscribe to the Warren Buffett expression of be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. Now is the time, I think, to be greedy. But I also think Team Michael Saylor wasn't focused on the right stuff, and that has hurt the overall market.
So what do you think the utility of Bitcoin is now?
Well, Bitcoin has definitely carved out, I think, a space as digital gold. And, there's all kinds of funny stories about when the central bank of Germany was moving $300 billion of gold. It took 2 years and billions of dollars to move it. If you wanted to move $300 billion of Bitcoin, you could do that in a pretty reasonable, quick way. So I think about Ripple's digital asset that we focus on as kind of our technology stack, XRP. The utility there is really focused on payments and leveraging the speed and efficiency of that blockchain in a way for institutions. And we've seen tremendous demand. I mean, last year, partly through acquisitions, we cleared $16 trillion of payments or clearing on the prime brokerage business. But last year, the percentage of that went through a digital asset was close to 0%. So the opportunity is to introduce and bring traditional finance. And Ripple's strategy from the beginning has been, how do we bring traditional finance into the modern architecture of blockchain? And now through some acquisitions, we have a tremendous opportunity to bring that in.
But in terms of digital gold serving as a safe haven, as an inflation hedge, because Bitcoin hasn't really traded with either of those use cases.
I totally agree with that. I think it's actually been surprising. It's also surprising the whole market moves in tandem. And it's kind of my argument being that the team strategy and Michael Saylor, what's happened with Bitcoin has kind of hurt the whole market. I do think you're going to start to see separation. And it goes back to, like, is there a real use case? Is there real utility? Is there real demand that's sustainable and going to grow over not just a few months, but the long term? And you've seen crypto go through these cycles. I mean, the NFT craze, the hype got.
Well, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I don't know how long he was on for. I did not know, and I follow Ripple pretty closely, that they did 17 trillion bandwidth last year with financial institutions. That is a staggering number. I think it's only going to get bigger. And the market is ripping right now. Individual stocks, ladies and gentlemen, they're coming back. Bitcoin is now over 60,000. CrowdStrike over 700. Reddit is trying to get back to 170. I wonder how screwed I'm getting on the stock draft right now. I have a feeling Amit is picking up some steam. Matt may be picking up some steam. This doesn't make sense, Amazon. Now, I know there's a big thing with Amazon raising prices and everything else. I want to wait until somebody comes on to have this conversation because I want to get all sides of it. And right now, we have a lot of things going on. AI valuations are certainly in question. And we have a lot of news with OpenAI reportedly leaning toward pushing the IPO back, engineers leaving, potentially making a custom chip. I think it's all one and the same. You got to be crazy if you're not looking at making custom chips. Alphabet did it. Amazon did it. Anthropic's looking into it. OpenAI's looking into it. And OpenAI already did the partnership with Broadcom. Do they go a step further? I don't know. How much of this moves from NVIDIA? We had a conversation this morning where I said, you know what? The ultimate winners, in my opinion, are Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet. The hardware companies, and I talked about it last night with Tanner, I think NVIDIA is one of the greatest companies, but how long can they keep this growth rate up? And even if the fundamentals make sense, if the growth rate slows down, what happens to the stock? I don't know. I don't have the crystal ball. I think from a valuation standpoint, NVIDIA makes so much sense. I have a large position in it. I don't know that I can stay in NVIDIA for 5 to 10 years the way that I'm planning on staying in Amazon and Microsoft. So I got to really flush that one out. And it is 11:49. So if our person would please come on, I can actually get into the nitty gritty of this. Lulu, wow, 115 trying to come back. Uber 7531. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi. Thank you. I think this is telling. Apple 278. I had this thought. I was listening to Amit, and I had this thought that, you know what? The consumer is so resilient. Does this pricing? Yes, obviously higher prices. Nobody wants that. PCE ran hot yesterday, 4.1% year over year. But with how strong the consumer is, and when we think about where technology has come from, I remember, and I'm going to age myself right here, but that's fine. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen the clip on Instagram about what laptops used to cost. 8 and 16-bit laptops used to cost $4,000 and $5,000 in the late 80s and early 90s. Insane amount of money. Absolutely insane. I don't know that charging $200 more for a laptop is going to make that much of a difference. I just don't know. I have no idea. We're going to have to wait and see how it comes out. I still do believe that the largest CEOs would not be investing this type of capital. Everything changes. I do believe LLMs will be commoditized at some point. I do think businesses are going to start reporting tokens as a separate line item with their spends, because I think shareholders are going to demand it. I really believe they will demand to see it, and they will start to have to report it. But I don't know that it's going to drive costs up on the businesses. I think there's going to be a lot of efficiency, a lot of productivity gains, and unfortunately, I do think that we're going to see less headcount and favoring tokens and AI spend. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. I wonder where inflation is today. Let's go to Trueflation, especially with oil declining. If oil was going up right now, these headlines from yesterday probably would have driven the market down 1,000 points. But with oil at 68, I think that the memory pricing is being offset. And look, everybody who's in the computer space has known about this for a while. If you're into custom PCs or gaming, you know that memory GPUs have been very hard to find. They're overpriced. This is nothing new. It's just hitting Main Street now in the market. All right, Trueflation dashboard coming right up. All right, ticking up 1.93% versus 4.2 on the actual official count from non-real-time data. PCE 2.55%. I don't think that this is horrible. I really don't. We'll see what happens. Is Apple going to really use Chinese memory? I think that Apple's going to try and make a play on it. I mean, I would. Wouldn't you? Micron's going to have to lobby, and I don't know if it's going to be granted or not. I don't know. Unless they can prove that some type of national security concern, I don't know if they're going to get their way on that one. And at some point, you have to think about it like this. Is Samsung and SK Hynix, are they really allocating all this new capital to CapEx to build more production if this is just a 2 or 3 year cycle after it's built? I don't think so. I don't think so. And we haven't even seen robotics yet. We haven't seen FSD yet. We haven't seen AGI, super intelligence. I think there's a lot of headlines, and especially with what I'm saying. I can't prove anything. I don't think anybody can. Don't say that. Hold on. Shh. All right. Whoops. Wrong button. Let's bring it up. 2 minutes ago, the Islamic Republic of Iran shot at least 4 one-way attack drones at ships transversing the Strait of Hormuz. One of the drones solidly hit the upper deck of a large and very expensive cargo carrying ship. Damage was done, but the ship was able to proceed on its way. We knocked down 3 other drones. Obviously, this is a foolish violation of our ceasefire agreement. Great. Great. Not what you want to see. I wonder if this is starting to impact the oil markets. Ticking up a bit. You got to love this. China isn't giving up on coal despite green energy goals. This is, oh my God, I don't want to get political. Okay. I'm going to say it like this because I've had this stance for the past 7 years, okay? Going and putting all of these environmental protections, air quote, protections on the U.S. and trying to transition to solar and wind and get off oil and gas, when one, it's not feasible because everything utilizes oil and gas. When you can't stop China from adding coal-fired power plants, is the wrong move. It is the wrong move. Oh my God, China. We need so much more energy. I think that we get lost in the headlines. We get lost in AI trying to figure out what model is going to win. Is it going to be commoditized? What chip is going to be superior? I think there's a real play in energy. Obviously, it has not pumped. Now, you can say Exxon and Chevron have gone up. Obviously, they're tied to the price of oil. They've also come down with oil coming down. I truly believe there is a play in energy infrastructure, and I do believe that there is a play in exporting. And we're probably at the very beginning stages of Venture Global in next decade. I do think energy infrastructure over the next decade will have its time in the sun. You can't go stand up pipelines. You can't stand up storage facilities. You need land, you need expertise, you need permitting. And guess what? If there is a chop in leadership, if the Republicans lose the House or the Senate or they lose both, good luck with the permitting process. The incumbents are only going to become stronger. You're getting paid really good distributions / dividends from these companies, and their infrastructure is absolutely critical, not just to everyday life, but to bring on all these new data centers. You have SpaceX reported that they are going to file to build natural gas pipelines directly to their campus, and Microsoft inking a 20-year supply contract with Chevron. How do you think that they're going to get the energy from Chevron? It's all through pipelines. It's all through pipelines. So we will see what happens. I think that the incumbents are the winners. Kinder Morgan, Energy Transfer, Enterprise Pride Partners, Enbridge, 10K, MPLX. I'm in all of them. I think that they are going to do very well, but you know what? They haven't done well. And I think there are pockets of the market that people are not looking at that can do well. ENB, yes, Enbridge is ENB. I get it. Bloom Energy may be interesting. I don't understand Bloom Energy. I haven't taken the time to look at it. And, oh, here we go. Thank you very much. Look, I love hearing this stuff because, look, I'm not in that industry. So anybody who has any expertise, shout all this stuff out. One of my job roles is oil and gas air compliance. It's a bear to get air permits approved. Trying to get permits approved for energy infrastructure is very hard. Yeah, I need to look into TeraWulf. I'm starting to wonder if the hardware play only has a certain amount of time left before it shifts back to the hyperscalers. That's what I'm starting to wonder. I really am, because at the end of the day, the hyperscalers will be the ones to ultimately monetize. GE, Vernovo, I like them a lot. Terra is backed by Google. I did know that. I just haven't done my due diligence the way that I have on a lot of the pipeline companies. Look, I understand pipelines. It's an easy equation. More energy consumption means more energy has to travel from A to B. Pipelines are the most efficient way of transporting. And when you look at the EIA agreements or the EIA outlooks, it all shows more consumption. BlackBerry, something that I don't pay attention to, but a lot of people do pay attention to it. I'm not going down that rabbit hole of BlackBerry. All right, we're starting to give a little back. Is this a fake out? Is this a fake out on SaaS? We're starting to give a little back. Microsoft is at 370, Meta 555, but Reddit losing a little steam. It just lost 170. ServiceNow is at 97. Salesforce 157. I think these companies are cheap. Maybe I picked the right day for Palantir to write that article. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Who knows? We have a short week next week. I think Amazon here is absolutely insane. 232. That's heartbreaking. Now, SpaceX, a lot of people on one side of the trade, a lot of people on the other side of the trade. Chef Mike buying more Zeta. Listen, I'm very bullish Zeta. I picked in the stock draft. I own a bunch. It just hit 19. I think it does well. I'm excited for the Q2 earnings call. I want to learn more about the Palantir deal. I want to learn more about the other two deals that they inked. I'm going to assume the Palantir deal was one of the ones David Steinberg was talking about when he was on Basis Points with us. I have no idea who the other two are. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. SoFi is trying to get back to 18. Long term, I like SoFi a lot. And here's the other thing. QXO just broke out over 18. If we were really worried about inflation or rate hikes, QXO would be back down to 16 right now. This is a company that is a direct beneficiary of rate cuts and of lower inflation. Traditional grid interconnections often require years of permitting. Bloom Energy fuel cells can be deployed in a matter of months, allowing hyperscalers to avoid lost revenue and rapidly scale. I get it, and I do need to look more into it. Let me ask you this. If you have any insight, do the SMRs play into that at all? Whoa, we got people talking about REITs in the chat. Simon Property Group. I think I was buying that at $50, $60 after the pandemic. I did see that Burry was buying Leaps. I did see that also. Let's see. Retail is piling in to chip stocks at a historic pace. $22.5 billion in U.S. listed semiconductor ETFs bought year to date. 1,000% up since April. $12 billion in the last month alone. Let's bring on somebody to talk about this and have a very in-depth conversation on this. Mr. Chris.
What's going on, man?
How are you on this Friday?
I'm good, man. Finally, damn software market's catching a bit again. You know? It feels weird that software is, you know, I don't know what to say, man.
Well, I think we're both in the same boat with software, that these are things that enterprises are not getting rid of. The cash flow is amazing. The forward outlook is amazing. And at the end of the day, you're paying such a low multiple on the profitability that the valuations just don't make sense. I don't know what happens, but I think there's a lot of names in the software stack that are very grossly undervalued. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you really have to beat down that narrative, right? I think the narrative is AI is going to disrupt software, where people are just going to vibe code software. I think until that narrative completely dies down, you're not going to get a multiple re-rating on this industry. But that also means that it gives these companies a good amount of time to basically eliminate the past year's dilution, right? So a lot of these SaaS companies, they're very heavy on their SBC for like the longest time. And so a lot of them are sitting on a good amount of cash. And then on top of it, they're still generating plenty of cash flow, which means that they can tap the debt markets at a pretty, decent. Can you mute your mic? Because the AC is coming through. There you go. Yeah, because so they can, with that cash flow, they can go to the banks and say, hey, give me this money. I have these future guaranteed cash flows for the next X amount of years. And there you go. Now they've got that cash to basically buy back their shares at a depressed price. So if you're able to do that, you're able to maintain some semblance of growth. It's pretty attractive to shareholders. And a lot of them are very, very debt light. They don't hold a lot of debt on the balance sheet, which gives them a lot of flexibility. That's why if you look at Salesforce, they were able to do that massive ASR, go into the debt markets, borrow the money, use that money to buy back a bunch of shares, and basically eliminated the last 5 years of dilution of SBC.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
And this isn't just like Salesforce, but I will say this. There are definitely software companies out there that are going to be disrupted. Like there's no doubt in my brain that if you are a very thin level software that has literally like, I don't even know how to describe it, no like moat, whether that be a regulatory moat, whether that be a workflow mode, a system of record mode, or a database mode, like all the moats that are there for certain softwares. If you don't have that moat, you will definitely feel it. But I mean, like a good example is like Chegg, right? Remember the homework assisting thing? But that was discovered early and that just went bye-bye very quickly. The rest of these guys are more under like natural, like narrative re-rating stories. So, by the way, have you seen managed healthcare?
I knew you were going to bring that up, sir.
That by far is like the piece de la resistance. I think last year everyone gave this industry such a bad rap, and they didn't understand that a few years of bad actuarial math does not mean that the entire industry is dead. It just means that you just need that time for the prices to re-rate and these companies to figure out ways to cut costs and restore profitability. And then now all of a sudden the market recognizes it. AI is actually a giant tailwind for most of them, and they're all soaring now. If you want to bring some of them up. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have them in a list, we can bring them up. I know United Healthcare is doing well.
I mean, you don't have it on. Well, I track it through Weeble's.
I don't track any of the healthcare stuff because I don't follow it, so I don't try to talk about stuff I don't follow.
Yeah, let me put it up there. There. So here they are, like Centene right now, which is one of the ones. Last year, it was trading at $24. Now it's almost $65, right? So it's getting back to its normal historical range again. 5 right here. So like I said, this is no longer like deep value. This is like market performing, right? So someone said, Chris, why did you sell out of UNH? I sold out of UNH is because I got most of the juice out of it, right? It still got, like, it has potential to go up here. But my logic for UNH and a lot of these companies is there's still that regulatory overhang with politicians coming up and midterms coming up. So I was like, you know what? I made my money. It was a deep value play in the 230s around here. I made my run up all the way to 400 something, and now I'm out. And I did it through a leverage position with options. So like I said, I had a pretty good return on it. So, yeah.
Well, as you were talking, I just bought more Broadcom.
Okay.
I can't go down the healthcare. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Now healthcare, you have to tailor your business model differently. Like with health insurance, it comes down to one, it comes to profit margins because they have very thin profit margins. That means that you need management that's very conservative with how they price their premiums to make sure they're not losing members, but at the same time, they're accounting for future costs in a way that still delivers value to shareholders. So it's a little bit different than a lot of other businesses because there is a level of uncertainty that comes with investing in healthcare. United Healthcare has a much more vertically integrated business. So they don't just like have just the insurance part. They've got the delivery part. They've got, the technology part where they sell technology and data, and they have a financial arm. They're the largest, what are they called? FSA. I mean, not FSA, sorry, HSA provider also through Optum. So, United had probably the healthiest recovery pattern, but it's also got the worst PR because they're like the blue chip of the group. I do have a position now thank you, honey, in Molina, because Molina is managed care, but they do Medicare and Medicaid. And one of the reasons why I picked them in the stock draft was because they haven't recovered nearly as much yet. But I don't know if you've been watching the news. One of the things that's coming out is all the fraud, waste, and abuse that keeps getting pulled right now. And especially among Medicaid, like people are actually starting to get caught now. So what happens is these guys will probably benefit from that. Like basically like the fraud reduction should help their MCR in the future. So their medical cost ratio is what they price a lot of their plans on. And then they build the states. They gain more states over time. And so they're still in growth mode when it comes to that. So I think right now we have to basically just give Molina its time. But Burry's kind of bullish on Molina as well. So today it's up nicely. Yeah. It's probably one of my best performers in our draft.
Let's get into what we were talking about on the phone. First, how do you think inflation is going to look? Trueflation's at 1.93. Do you think it's going to go on a trueflation basis over 2.5 over the next 6 months? I mean, CME Group is now, I'll just bring up CME Group. It's kind of crazy. Until yesterday, I thought it was kind of crazy what they were projecting. And with the amount that oil's down, I don't know that I think we're going to get a hike. I still think that we're in a good position. So what are your thoughts on everything that's happening? This is CME Group. There is now a 77% chance. I think I said to you 80% on the phone. 77% chance we get at least one hike.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The CME Group is just taking the data that's already existing and factoring that into their calculations. I mean, we had a hot market with energy prices, so this data could be not as real time as you need. Like it's hard to determine. Like this is one of the challenges with trying to determine what the right balance is, because you're never going to be able to get the exact timing because you don't know the impacts of everything. You don't know how many businesses raise prices because of higher oil prices, and if they're going to lower their prices now that oil is back down again, or are they unsure that oil prices are going to go back higher? So, and even these CME Group guys, they don't want to take the chance and try to say, well, guess what? We're all clear. Strait of Hormuz is good to go. We're chilling, no more cuts. And what happens? Tomorrow morning, Israel lobs a bomb, and now the whole ceasefire is out the door. And that's exactly what's been happening. So even the CME Group is probably like, we don't know what to do. So we just better lay on the conservative side and just say, screw it. We'll probably get more hikes. And I don't think that that's completely out of the realm of things happening based on what we're seeing with the memory prices going higher, and then everyone raising the price on durable goods. And then on top of all of that, you've still got other inflation that's starting to creep up also. So
before we get into that inflation, what I don't understand, and people have talked about this for a while, the BLS uses surveys with manual price checks, and it's reporting lags. I mean, at least with Trueflation, though, I think the reason you and I both use it is because it's 15 million real-time price observations from 30 licensed data providers. And BLS is only sampling roughly 80 to 90,000 prices per month. I think Trueflation is a much better real-time indication of where we are. And I think the data that they're looking at and that is online for a lot of people is outdated. Especially, look, energy is rolling over right now. Could it go back over 100? Absolutely. But it is doing exactly what I thought it would do. Trade between 65 and 75 if there is any type of real ceasefire where the strait opens up. Now, we have Matt in the chat saying that Steve's hair is AI. Maybe it is. I don't know. But oil is rolling over. Is that going to offset what we saw yesterday? Yesterday, we had Apple come out, raise prices on the Mac and iPad, which is roughly 15%. A lot of people are of their revenue. A lot of people are saying they are testing the waters to see if they can get away with it on the iPhone, which is roughly 52% of their revenue.
Steven, can I pause right there for 1 second? So someone in the comments, they said, who cares how expensive electronics are? They aren't a necessity. And let me address that.
Go ahead.
Every piece of the economy has some form of electronics built into it. Whether you go to a hospital, you're going to have everything going beep, 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 boop, 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 boop. You go to any business, they have computers, right? You go to any warehouses, they all have computers. If you go to anywhere, they have different things. We live in a digital economy, okay? So all of those things, those are durable goods. Durable goods have a shelf life. Right now, my group, we are undergoing a radical change in our radiologist workstations, right? The workstations we ordered last year are now twice as expensive as they are today. Okay. I mean, today they're twice as expensive what we paid last year. Now, where do you think my hospital is going to make up the cost? Well, easy. They're going to raise prices. So even if you think that electronics, because you're not going to change your iPhone because, oh, the next iPhone is more expensive. It's not just the iPhone, especially when it comes to chips. Chips are in everything. Memory is in everything. Like I said, everything
even
from
automobiles.
the low to the automobile, same thing. Everything. So unfortunately, I wish I could agree with you and just say, yeah, chips don't matter, electronics don't matter. But listen, no matter what you do, you're doing it on a screen. You're attached to a screen. You're going to sleep at night, and before you do that, you're looking at a screen. So sorry, I just wanted to address that. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I mean, look, at one point, people legitimately thought the roads would be lined with microchips. We need so many. They're in legitimately everything. If you go buy a clock these days, you have some type of microchip in there. There is microchips in legitimately everything. So, yes, it is very important. Now, we've seen this. If you are into computers, you know there was a memory crisis. GPUs were on the secondary market for a lot of money. This is now bleeding over into Main Street. And chips do come with dip, unfortunately, Matt, and that dip costs more money, and that's what we're going to get into. So Apple is testing the waters. They're increasing prices on their actual laptops and iPads. Micron signing 5-year deals with 16 different companies, and higher prices are going to be here for longer. We saw Amazon is expecting to increase, I think by July 1st, 20% for their GPU instances. That at some point will get passed on to the consumer somehow.
Oh, it already is through the gaming, through the Xboxes. Xbox raised their prices. Nintendo has been getting absolutely smashed right now because they raised prices on their Switch too. And this is right before the release of GTA. You know, I'm just saying, like, this thing bleeds into everything. Everything has memory in it, dude. Everything's going to bleed into it. So.
Well, and it's not just memory, because you're also talking about, it's not just DRAM or HMB or HBM.
Yeah.
You also have memory that are inside other components.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the entire stack. I mean, the question becomes, where do we go from here? And I've been saying very publicly that I have a large position in NVIDIA relative to my portfolio. I want to be out of it before the music starts to slow. And I didn't think the music was going to slow until probably 2029, 2030. I'm wondering if that music slows next year, or if it's already starting to slow. I'm not sure. everything is sold out. Companies are looking at CPUs. The Qualcomm information was very interesting, considering that they're looking to become a real data center CPU play in 2028. They really start production next year, second half. There's a lot of things happening, and I'm not a technical savant where I can tell you that GPUs, whatever Jensen's making with Vera Rubin, is going to outlast every TPU. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I just see that businesses are actively trying to get away from paying the Jensen tax, and that's just a normal part of it. This is the unfortunate reality is everything has a cost, right? Like, so we want to believe that AI demand is unlimited. Well, honestly, you could say pizza demand is unlimited, but the thing is, there's a certain price at which
we got.
Yeah, but at certain price, people are saying, "Look, this pizza is too expensive, bro."
I don't know. Crispy Pizza in New York City is charging an arm and a leg, and they got a line out the door.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand that customers are price sensitive too. We can't all go bankrupt buying you from 90% plus from Jensen, and then Micron layers on their goddamn expenses, and then all the power companies layer on their expenses. By the time it gets to the end user, it's like, here you go. Do you want AI? Okay, it's gonna cost you $1 million. It's like, bro, I don't even have $1 million in revenue. Like, you're gonna charge me $1 million. So then what do customers do? The customers look for alternatives. And the alternatives are coming honestly from the Chinese with their open models and open weights.
Oh, they always do.
Yeah, I mean, look, people and businesses are going to go to where things can afford. And I'm not saying that the proprietary models are dead, like no one's going to use them. But the thing is, like, for lower function tasks, you can use not as good models that are, that are okay. And here's the thing. The Chinese models are actually catching up very quickly to the frontier labs. Like, and that's why we spoke about it, the whole thing with Bill Gurley. He put it out there. The minute that OpenAI and Anthropic went to the government and said, you need to lock this shit down to make sure that there's no additional models that come out that basically can disrupt us and disrupt our business model, is the day you knew that some problems were going to start. Because all of that RPO that has basically been signed by OpenAI and Anthropic, now everyone's going to question. Like, Oracle is going to have to question themselves and say, wait a second, I'm building out all this data center compute for a customer like OpenAI who has guaranteed me all of this demand in the future, which is fine. But if OpenAI does not exist, what am I going to do? That means that now they're going to have to find customers for everything that they just built. So what then? And if everyone has to do it at the same time, you got a major problem on your hands. So I don't know. This industry is very tricky right now, but what are you going to do?
Well, I can tell you that when I was building my platform, I built in some research stuff, and Anthropic actually said, when I was using the chatbot, to utilize the lower models for the research because it would save me money. And it would be just as effective for the hardcore research, and then have Opus do all the aggregation.
Yeah.
And it actually built in a several step where the other models were utilized for certain things, and then Opus, et cetera, et cetera. And we've seen everything get commoditized. Like, this may not be any different. I think you were one of the first people to say this. I actually went a different route with Alphabet, saying that they could take out Anthropic and OpenAI if they really wanted to by going.
I said the same thing. Like, I was on a Cash Flow Chronicles with Matt, and I said, look, do you really think Google is out here saying, you know what, I'm okay with Anthropic taking margin. I'm okay with NVIDIA taking margin. No, Google has built a vertical stack for a reason. It's because they want to own the chips, because they retain all that margin. If they own the best model, and they have they have client relationships with thousands of enterprises, they get to retain all of that. Google's job is to keep as much margin as possible. Their job is not, oh yeah, I'm going to try to make Anthropic survive. Now, granted, Google invested in Anthropic, and I think they did that as a hedge, to say, look, we put money with them. They buy our TPUs. We get all of our money back anyway, and we get an equity stake in these guys. And when they IPO, we get all of our money back with a profit, take that profit, roll it back into our own ecosystem, kill them in the future. And there you go. Now you got yourself a monopoly. I mean, look, these big tech companies are freaking ruthless, dude. They are ruthless.
Now, I think that this will happen at some point. You're going to remember this. I don't know everybody's age in the chat, but this happened to computers.
New machines we've seen, Keith.
This one's list price at $49.99. This one goes for 95 or 11 grand.
Okay.
11 grand, and I think that's an 8-bit or a 16-bit laptop. 11 grand in 1989. 11 grand.
On the drive.
Kevin?
This is $79.99 without modem, 2 megabytes, 40 megabyte hard disk, and $84.99 with that.
Well, this is equivalent to an IBM AT. This is a 12 megahertz 286. It's got a 287 socket. It's got a 20 megabyte hard drive, a 3.5-inch floppy. This is an EGA compatible screen. It's got 16 grayscales. So on the back here, you got all your standard ports. There's external video for an EGA monitor, 2 serial ports. It's also got a space here for a modem, which would be this kind of modem here.
In addition to the desktop features like removable keyboard and all the ports and full complement of memory, we have a tremendously viewable fluorescent screen here. And if you notice, I'm running Microsoft Windows and Excel here, and the spotting of the cursor is something that does move quite well across the screen.
I mean, at some point, we got to call a spade and say, we've been here before, and we know where this story ends. Every new technology, it doesn't matter what it is. In the beginning, it's expensive, and then it always comes down in price. You can get a very good laptop for $700, $800. Not going to say that you can play the best games at 4K, 120 hertz, but a really good laptop that you can use for every day and for working, $800, you can get a good laptop.
Unless the government steps in and says you can only buy a Dell laptop. Then what happens? All progress in laptops going forward become zero. And Dell has no incentive to try to make anything better. That is exactly what Anthropic and OpenAI are trying to do. They're trying to say, if we don't have to worry about competing against these open source models or the Chinese models, we'll be golden. Because they know every day they're going to have to keep competing and keep getting better. And that's one of the things that I don't know if the politicians are going to be okay with it. I mean,
and I don't know if all I have to say is thank God for Alphabet. Thank God for Alphabet, because you know what? If it wasn't for Alphabet, OpenAI and Anthropic would have full reign. At least Alphabet is keeping them in check right now, because, and I think you're right. And I don't know if you want to say what you said to me privately, but I think you're right in what you said about Alphabet. So,
dude, Alphabet's going to try to win it all, and they're going to do everything they can to basically kill these guys, but they're not going to do it right away. They're going to say, we want to wait until we get our equity investment out, and they don't want to look like a monopoly right off the bat. They want to try to get as much out of this whole thing as possible. So I would say Google's don't count Google out of this. Google, a lot of people counted Google out during the original search war. Like, I think I think only a few people were really like, look, Google's not going anywhere. They got a lot of smart
a dumb
people.
argument. Like the idea that search was being cannibalized without having any proof of it. Like, you need proof to make, you can make any statement you want, but actually have credibility, at least show that, well, look, revenue declined by $1 billion quarter over quarter. It's starting to decline. Maybe it's going to get cannibalized, but just saying it while revenue is accelerating, that's not a great argument.
Yeah. Google is definitely one of those companies, man. They've figured out ways to fight and not only survive, but thrive, right? And they have the cash flows to basically bankrupt these guys because Google can give away their shit for free. I mean, especially like the lower end models, Google would just say, take it. Here's the free. Take it for free. Enjoy. And guess what happens? Now OpenAI and Anthropic, they have a whole bunch of basically customers that are going to be like, where's my payment? And people are like, well, we're not using, we can't get the payment out of our customers because our customers are not using us. I mean, You saw the data on OpenRouter, like how big of a change it's been between different model usage
I
between
have
like
not.
the OpenAI. Yeah, I mean, let me just pull it up 1 second.
So, but while you pull that up, I do think that we've seen it in everything, and I think that we're going to see it again with these models, and I think the price is going to have to come down. I don't know how they keep these prices there, and then when Alphabet really decides to compete, they obviously have a leg up because they have the delivery with the devices. And why wouldn't you just run Gemini on your Android device if it's just as good or better?
Yeah,
I think that people are sleeping on that.
and Steve, the cost difference, it's not like a few dollars here, a few cents here.
Mhm.
Okay, you're talking about like a magnitude of about like 17, like 15 to 17 times less than what OpenAI and Anthropic are trying to charge. Like that is
Yeah.
a really, really big difference. So the way that I would best phrase this is a lot of the unit economics that were sold on Anthropic and OpenAI was, look, if you have 1,000 employees and you're paying each employee $100,000, if you're able to replace 10 employees, that means that you're going to be saving 100,000 times 100. That's going to be $10 million. And if that means that now you only pay $5 million to us, that means that, hey, guess what? Your profit margin just went up by $5 million. Everyone, yay. The Chinese are coming in, right? A lot of these open source models are coming in and saying, wait, why are you charging them 5 million? Why don't you just charge them 100,000 to replace those people, those same people? And that's where unit economics goes absolutely crazy, because then the companies themselves are saying, even if, let's say, our usage goes up by 15 times, it's going to cost us the same. So let's stay there. And the other thing is, these guys, the open source guys, they're not stopping. They're innovating just as much as
Oh, yeah.
the frontier guys are. They're literally, I think, like 6 months to 9 months behind on a lot of the newest models. So
How about SpaceX here? Look at this round trip.
was that even like
No,
an
I
issue?
mean,
Like,
you and I were saying that it's just the amount of people that where this is going to the moon. I mean, it's once again, at least it's stabilizing. I don't know if it holds that, to be honest with you. I cannot wait for their first quarter earnings. I cannot wait.
a couple of things real quick in the chat. Someone says Chris is making the biggest AI bull case, but he thinks it's a bubble. So there's a thing. You can be bullish on a technology, but you don't have to be bullish on the sector or the value proposition every single time. Like if you look at .com, and that's probably the worst example to use, but you look at .com, you could be bullish on the internet, but be short on a lot of the companies that died during the .com bubble.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was a kid, but I knew like, oh, the internet's going to be a big thing. Everyone's going to be connected. Everyone's like, every day I went home, I wanted to get on the internet and do different things. I want to talk to my friends on AOL Messenger. Like I knew, but that doesn't mean that like, oh my God, AOL is going to be the biggest company in the world. You know, AOL no longer exists. What does that
Think
tell
about
you?
how crazy that was back in the day, that every other week you would get a actual envelope in the mail with a CD with a demo for AOL. You remember those things?
Yeah.
The amount of money that they spent on all that stuff has got to be crazy. When you think about how
Yeah.
marketing used to be in advertising back then.
AOL, man, like the fact that they fell off is kind of crazy, because at one
They
point
had the
I think
game won. Their only
Yeah.
competition was CompuServe.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like, you remember when it's like, you've got mail. Like imagine telling someone back then AOL one day is going to be acquired by like Time Warner, and then it's eventually the brand is just going to disappear. No one would have believed you, because I think at the time
No.
like 50 million households were on the damn thing.
It was the only thing. It
So-
was how people read sports stuff other than a newspaper. There was no smartphone.
Yeah.
It was
So
a crazy, like you and I grew up in a crazy time.
Yeah. I remember
Like, you
AIM.
and I, we really are seeing every innovation of technology real time. We're living it out.
Yeah. Someone said ICQ. I remember ICQ. ICQ was there. That's the thing with time, man. You gotta stay Netscape, you gotta keep innovating. You gotta stay innovating. And that's the one thing about technology that people may or may not want to accept, but better technology comes along and can disrupt your whole business. And OpenAI came in and said, we're going to disrupt you, Google. And Google said, whoa, wait a second. Okay. See where you're coming.
The hard thing to do is, and I've made this point a lot, it's hard to disrupt a business that does $100 billion in profitability a year because they can legitimately take a blank check and do what they need to do. It's very hard to do that.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Google's culture that you gotta love. They really do try. Like, do you know what Sergey Brin and Larry? I think it was more Sergey Brin that put this out there. But basically, every person working at Google, I think 90% of the time has to work on projects that are like Google related, and I think like 10% of the time you're allowed to just do whatever you want, like go research things, go figure things out. And this way, they're never caught off guard, because even those 10% side projects, even if it's like 1,000 of them, they all lose money. That one that hits ends up just killing it for them. Like, look at this whole thing with Waymo. Like 5 years ago, autonomous taxi networks weren't even a thing. Like, it was still an imagination phase. Now I see them rolling around Atlanta. So it just goes to show. I mean, so many crazy innovative things have come out of Google. Like this whole thing with AI, all of this stuff came out of Google. The Transformer white paper, everything came out of Google, man. So
I'm trying not to laugh with some of these comments, but I'm gonna show
it. All I know is there's a bunch of predators in this damn comment section. You guys are all predators. Going to freaking ASL/pick. Yeah, I know what that was. You bunch of creepers. That's like code word for like I was a predator. I'm a predator.
Some of these comments, at least I don't feel completely old right now. That's all I can say.
LimeWire. Oh God,
LimeWire, Napster. Yeah, look, we will see commoditization of technology again. It always happens. I actually, did you watch the BlackBerry movie, Chris?
I did.
I saw it for the first time this week. I actually took the time to watch it. Now, I did not watch the whole thing. I sped through some of the parts. Phenomenal movie. And it just goes to show you, they legitimately thought they would never be dethroned. And they were like, but why would you not want a keyboard on a phone?
Yeah.
Everything is subject to innovation. And my thesis is really, at the end of the day, all roads lead back to Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet.
For now.
Well, for whatever this ends up becoming, you have to run stuff on these data centers. And we see with cloud infrastructure. Like put AI on one side and cloud infrastructure on the other. Businesses need cloud infrastructure. They're not getting off of that. And you have to think that AI is going to be layered on top of it. So I do think all roads lead back to it. My big question is, does Zuck kill the metaverse? And just say, you know what? Mea culpa, I was wrong. We're going to go full scale hyperscaler because we see that Elon is getting a lot of positive traction with what he's doing with SpaceX. I truly think if Zuck did that, it's $1,000 stock tomorrow.
I don't know, man. It's the hyperscaler thing could pan out, but then like maybe Elon wants to do hyperscaler as well. AI data centers in space, right? He's definitely trying to build a telecom company now. So you look at.
You want to go down that theory?
I'll be honest. If SpaceX drops below 100, I'm buying. I don't even give a shit. I'm buying because the TAM is absolutely insane at that point. Like, I'm not saying like it's a bad investment right now, but it just depends on your time horizon, right? Like if your time horizon is like 10 years, I don't think buying a SpaceX here is a bad idea. I think you'll get a pretty good return out of it, to be honest with you, even at a $2 trillion market cap, just based on the amount of cash this business might end up throwing off from its telecom business could be pretty insane. but it just kind of depends. Like if you buy it at 100 versus buying it at 50, it doesn't sound like very much. It's only $50, but just remember 50 to
Huge.
100 is a double.
33%.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's a double. Like if someone
Yeah.
bought it at 50, it goes to 100, it's a double. So just saying it's and at the same time, remember they'll be able to buy back shares and all the other stuff. So we'll see what happens. And then maybe one day there'll be like a space colony, space tourism business where people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but how long does this take? And I'm not trying to Jake Rizzo. I'm going to tread lightly here, buddy. All right. How long does this actually take? Because humans can't build this. Let's be very clear.
Listen,
humans cannot
me
build
and you are going to be alive enough to actually take a visit to the moon, hopefully.
Oh,
Like
I
think
believe
about it.
that, but you have to
Yeah.
have robots do this. This is not something humans can build unless you're going to tell me we're building all this on Earth and Elon's going to make rockets that actually carry it into orbit. Otherwise, this has to be built by Optimus.
I mean,
Like we're
we'll
going
see
to
what
train
happens.
electricians and welders to be astronauts and then do that task in zero gravity.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm not trying to dampen what he is saying, but I'm trying to be realistic about what the possibility of the outcome is. How does it get built? Is it getting built here or there? Because if it's there, it has to be robotics. Cannot be human.
Maybe. I don't know, man. I think the technology that I'm most excited about, believe it or not, is actually we may eventually figure out how to stop aging, but not to the degree where you're not going to die, but it's going to like lengthen your life. I think the average human at some point may get to 100, and then actually
100. How about
Yeah.
200? Can we get 200 on here?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's
You don't think we
incremental.
can get like real cell regeneration and stuff? I mean, that's where we should be looking is the real applications of healthcare, because who wants to die? Like you gotta think that immortality is the one thing everybody's going to strive for that's in one of these healthcare companies.
Just the thing is like humans, we get old. It's just a natural part of life.
Right.
But the thing is, the reason why we die is because as we get older, immune system weakens over time. Our telomeres like run out, and so we can't really do a lot of cell replication anymore, and certain critical functions, certain enzymes stop working really well for us. So all of those things, if you can sort of identify the problem and then fix it, you could theoretically live for a very long time. Now, the quality of life could be materially different than what you want, but this is where like I think science could theoretically come in and make such dramatic improvements that you could extend your life a lot longer than people believe. Like there could be synthetic synthetic like organs eventually. Like a lot of people, they die waiting for an organ because they might have lost a part of them. And if you can eventually grow a synthetic organ that has no rejection, or let it grow from your own DNA, then there you go, you got no rejection, right?
I mean, think about stem cell therapy, how much, that's not new. That's been here for 15 years. It's just become very popular now. I got to think with AI and how much technology can advance healthcare over the next 2 decades. Like if you think about where we are with technology now compared to where we were 2 years ago, in 2 decades, you got to think that healthcare is going to be completely different.
One thing I think I want to do, I wish you could spend like a few hours, speak to an AI. It asks let's say 1 million questions to you. You answer it, you converse with it, and you create like a digital avatar of that person, right? And you can actually like interact with it. Like I would love, like my dad is still alive right now, of course, and I love him to death. I'd love for him to have like a digital ghost. So like one day I could just talk to the AI and, hey dad, I just need some advice on something. You know,
That's
and
not. Let's create the company. Let's do it. That's a great
huh?
idea. Let's create that
I
company.
mean, the thing
I
is, like,
think
you need a lot of like neuroscientists and all the other stuff, you know, to put all. I don't know if that's something that I feel is ethical though, because I want to do that, but I don't want to. I don't know. It's weird.
well, you've seen all the stuff about transferring consciousness, right?
No, no.
You haven't seen any of that? Really? I'm going to take you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I don't know if I just had like a little bit of a moral kind of like feeling when I said all of that. Like it's like you're basically trapping your father's soul in a freaking machine. Like I don't know if I'd like that actually. Like, you know, when my dad passes, he'll pass. I just don't want to. I don't want to hold him on for my own you know, selfish reasons. I feel like if you did something like that, you could be theoretically trapping the person's consciousness in a machine. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be okay with that, to be honest with you. Now I think about it, I'm having a little bit of a moral issue after the idea just came out.
So there's actually companies that have been working on this for a while, Chris. This is not BS. And this is just the first thing I found. I forget the actual company that was doing it, but they've been looking at this for the past several years about being able to transfer human consciousness into digital entities for immortality. It's insane.
Yeah,
the rabbit hole goes so deep.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel some kind of way
deep.
about it, man. I'm starting to feel some kind of way about it, man. Like we don't want to be selfish. Like extending a person's life beyond beyond limits right now is one thing where you're trying to actively fight God. But I don't know if taking a person and putting them in a machine is
These are the companies we got to find to invest in, Chris.
What?
Upload consciousness by
consciousness.
2040. Let's go.
Would you do that? I don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I want to go to heaven, bro. Where I'm a Hindu,
Why
so
can't
I
I
want
be
to
in
be
both
reborn.
places? Why can't
I
I
want to be
in both places?
reborn. Because it wouldn't be you, man. There's a certain spark that you have that I'll never be able to get by talking to a machine that is trying to replicate you. You know,
This is bullish memory.
this is bullish memory. That's a good point.
Bullish memory.
How much memory do you need?
Seriously, bullish memory. They're working on a lot of things. I think that we're going to see some crazy stuff over the next 20 years, and I have no idea how to play it. All I know is that we missed something. We missed TKO. This thing popped today.
Did it? How much?
It's up $20 in a week, 15% a month.
And none of us picked it up, did we?
No. And the worst part, anything I talk about and I don't, it's not if I talk about it. If I talk about it and I don't do it, that's what you do. Whenever I do that, it just freaking works.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's the same thing happens to me too, man. Sometimes it's like you know what it is? We've both been burned by the market in the past. So we are way more analytical when it comes to our decision process, where we want to make sure we're going into the right thing. Other people, you could say, hey, I think this is good. They'll throw here you go. Here's $100,000. I'll hold for the next 10 years. Like, I can't do that shit, dude. You know?
Microsoft at 370 is really killing me, Chris. It's really killing me.
I told my brother this morning, I said, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I'm sad. And I'm like, okay, well, buy some Microsoft. He's like, what? I was like, yep, buy some Microsoft. It's like, okay. And now he's happy because he bought Microsoft. He bought the dip. He bought the dip hard. Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, I bought this yesterday. I think that there are companies that are expensive, companies that aren't. Microsoft is just, yes, we saw a period where Microsoft did absolutely nothing. And I know people are going to talk about that's all. What do you mean something went wrong? Oh, my VPN is on. What?
There you go. Did you
No
run out of
bueno.
memory?
No,
Did you run out of memory?
not run out of memory.
Are you sure? You might want to call your cloud provider and be like, "Hey guys, what happened?"
No, it's fixed. I fixed it. Something with my VPN screws with it. I don't know why.
Okay.
But yes, there was a very big period when Microsoft was doing not a lot. If you go back to 2006, Microsoft was at 2822. Okay. I mean, the fact that it was still around $40 in 2015, 9 years later.
But you got to remember, they were under that they were under antitrust at the time. Remember? So they had to.
I get it.
They had to go. Anytime the business gets hit with regulatory issues and stuff like that, it's hard for them to innovate. And then they really started to pick up steam once you had like cloud, right? Because then
does this not look like we're gonna break out to the upside again? That chart.
I mean, it's Microsoft. Microsoft is definitely gonna break out to the upside. Satya's probably like, okay, how am I gonna get my share price up right now? So
like it couldn't go below here. It couldn't go below. This is the depth of my chart reading, ladies and gentlemen. Couldn't go below there, and it couldn't go below here. I feel like it's got like an imaginary base that it's just going to go off of.
I found a new tool that's surprisingly accurate on figuring out entry. I want to say
let's see your
accurate,
tool versus my tool.
It's not really a tool. It's more of a thing.
MSFT. Let's see long term. As I did fix this. No new clear signals. Interesting. And I don't know how to read all this stuff, so I'm going to have AI do it for me.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got on Microsoft here?
So take a look at this.
All right. One sec. Let me just bring this up and then we'll go to yours. Microsoft at 370.42 is a confirmed long-term downtrend by virtually every major structural measure. Monthly MACD histogram sits at negative 15, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What's the trade setup, though? You need to finish the trade setup. Let's go. Failed. I guess I broke this too. All right. Let's go to yours.
Yeah, it's a technical indicator. It's called a 33 fair value. Let me just share my screen, show you guys. I'm still trying it. So this is called a 33 fair value band. It's a popular technical indicator used for charting. You could use it on TradingView. I have it on TrendSpider, right? Okay. So if you look at this, it basically just highlights a trend. And you can use it on probably the weekly is the most accurate, but basically when it's on an uptrend, it's a good time to really like buy in because now you've got like potential strength coming in, even if the a lot of people use RSI as, oh, this is a top, blah, 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 but you can see like it's kept rising even past the high RSI. So you can see a nice move and then it had like a pullback down and then it kind of retested and it stayed, went back down, went up again. And it's kind of cool because if you look at like Palantir, right? Palantir had that breakout in 2023, and that thing just kept going higher, higher, and higher, and eventually it sort of like topped out here, right? And now it's kind of entered into this like this band of like no go. But the thing is, if it breaks out of this band and starts to recover, then it's like, okay, now it's a good time to kind of make your entry into this thing again. But basically it's just tracking that. And I mean, that's why like you look at UNH, right? This band right here, once it broke to the downside, it stayed, and now it's actually just creating like a nice support level, and it's been rising since. So like I said, I don't know how accurate this is. I'm just trying it out. It looks kind of cool. It's identified some trends on a longer term basis that that seem reasonable. And I'm still not gonna be like, what is it called? I'm not giving up fundamentals and only going based on technicals all of a sudden. I'm just incorporating this to give me better entries and exits. Like Celsius that kind of happened to me. Like I got out right at the top of Celsius when it was around here in 2004. When it started to kind of peak out, I got out and it just stayed in that channel down. It recovered slightly and now it's on a channel down. So unless it breaks here, probably not going to buy any, And I'm of course going to look at the fundamentals. So are there any that you want me to look up just to test?
Do NVIDIA real quick.
Okay. NVIDIA looks like it's nice and green, and it's starting to like get down there, right? It's crossing over to the downside, but that doesn't mean
this
that
is on day trading or is it on long term?
It's a more longer term. It's weekly. Day trading is like daily or minutes. This is weekly. So, it crossed into that zone, that threshold at 165 over here, but then it bounced out of it. So, like I said, if you just got in around here in the entry, you could have wrote it up, and since then you just chill. So, yeah, it looks like NVIDIA, according to the MACD, it's starting to lose strength. So it actually could go down, but it doesn't mean that it can't bounce off of this. But it just means that if this support level gets broken and it starts going to downtrend, you just have to reevaluate your fundamentals, see if there's anything really broken with it, and see how long this downtrend lasts.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to show you something that I think that we should work on together.
Sure. What's up?
I'm going to open up an account on Public.
Okay.
Have you gone through this whole agents for your portfolio with them and everything they can do?
No. They've reached out to me a couple of times to do like a partnership, but I kind of turned them down. I said, I'm a freelancer. I'm good right now.
Everything. And you have different trading strategies you can do, indicators, all the data sources. Like I am legitimately looking at, I had Claude work on it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And based off of all this stuff, what type of trading strategy it could build and have it set parameters and stuff, because this can log in right with an agent you build with Claude also.
Okay.
So
right.
I'm thinking about trying to build something out. And I talked to my accountant the other night and I said to him, how screwed am I going to be? He's like, no, he's like, I don't care if you give me, he's like, what I care about with you is how many accounts you have, not the length of the report. He's like, because I'm just looking at the final stuff. He's like, you could do 1 million trades. I don't give a shit. So I'm seriously looking at trying to, I don't have the time to trade. I wanted to learn trading. I don't have the time to do it. Like I really don't. So I really want to build something and set it up in a separate account and just let it run and try to make me money while I do other shit.
I mean, you can do that. I don't have the temperament for it, to be honest with you. Like I'm just not a good trader.
No,
like,
and that's why I don't want to do it. I'd rather build a bot to do it for me.
Yeah, I think for me,
make money.
The best thing for me is just I'd like to set up scanners on finding companies that are oversold, and then usually like see if there's mean reversion potential. Like, is this an industry? Like my biggest wins have come from when an entire industry gets sold off. I usually pick the best company within that industry that I know has the potential to recover. Because that's what happens. It's like soda is not popular anymore. So everyone sells off every single soda company there is, regardless of whether or not, one is bad and one is good. But are people really going to stop drinking soda? No, everything is just going to consolidate. And so, that happened to me with regional banks. It sort of happened with a bunch of things. So yeah, I think I've fallen in in love, if you want to call it love, fallen in love with mean reversion as my like favorite strategy. You know, like everyone's got to figure out what their favorite strategy is, right? Mine is mean reversion. Like I always find that things eventually return to the mean. Now, my ability to judge when that's going to happen is probably the thing that I have to hone a lot, because while things could recover eventually, depending on how you layer on your investment, it could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be 5 years. And the thing is, like, if it's going to be 5 years and the return that you're going to get is only like 20%, then it's probably better to buy something else that has a sharper drop and has a potential to go much higher for a myriad of reasons, and then optimize a strategy where you can take advantage of that volatility and returning from high volatility to low volatility. So,
like, I know that I can't do this shit, right? It's just, it's not even worth it for me to try to, but I could definitely build something that can. So like for Apple, for some reason, my day trading works. My long-term is getting screwed up. Like, it will give you everything. And then with the interpretation, it'll give you a trade setup, tells you the aggressive, the conservative, the price targets, where to put the stop loss. I think if I take this and build this into a bot and just give it 4 tickers to do this on with a set amount of money and put the parameters in, I don't see why this can't. And now what Claude was saying is that I can never beat hedge funds with high frequency trading. I said, I'm not trying to. I want to scalp. I want to try to scalp. That's what I want to try to do. And have the bot scalp. Because now with the pattern day trader law is gone pretty much, you no longer have all those bullshit rules. So I think now's the time to try it.
why not put some money through it and let it do its thing?
Yeah, I would really like Fable to come back, because that model was so good. It was
Really?
so,
I
dude,
tried it for a little bit. I didn't
was
notice that
so
big of a
good.
difference.
Oh,
I didn't notice that big.
I noticed the difference when they took it away and I went back to 4.8. I was like, holy shit. It felt like I got stupider like overnight. It was crazy. Crazy. Let's see where we are on the market. All right. Bitcoin is about to go under 60,000 again. CrowdStrike lost 700. Microsoft is still at 370. IBM 270. Tesla 386. It's moving. Meta's under 555. ServiceNow is trying to make a comeback.
Why are you using Robinhood's thing?
I don't know.
I look like the way that Amit has it set up. Amit's got a really good setup on Webull. I gotta copy that somehow, because like it's easy to see like the pattern movements and everything on it. So,
Wendy's up 6.48% today.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. That's not mean reversion. That's just Wall Street Bets doing its thing.
27% short. 27% short. This company's not losing money.
That's not enough juice, man. You need like 60-70% short in the float to be really, really.
You're asking for like conditions you can never freaking
repeat again.
No, you can never get that again.
Yeah,
you can never get that again.
Ever. My uncle. Yeah, we miss you, man. What happened? Get on here. You know, does Singapore not have internet? Well, of course he has internet. You're watching us. You don't have a camera out there?
He did the close. He did the open this morning. I just sent you a link, Amit. Yeah, this is pretty wild. Everything's trying to move. Reddit is coming down. Good thing I sold some call options before. SoFi lost 18. SpaceX 157. Let's see. Amazon 231 is starting to fall off. This does not make sense.
What is Nubank doing? How's that?
Good old Nubank.
Yeah.
You have it up on your screen, or do you want me to put it in?
No, you can put it in. Let's see. See, all right, let me just share my screen then. 1 second.
1326 is up 6.5%.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like this view better. Like you can see this on Webull, where you can actually have different different lists. So like bonds, the cruise lines are higher a little bit today because the oil prices are. This company I missed because it was so small, and I typically don't invest in small caps, but this company does. You're gonna laugh.
What is it?
It's called One Spa World. They have massage contracts, like massage provider, like like contracting on all the cruise ships. Look at this. 18, like literally went from $12 to 28.
Only you would find something like this.
I'm telling you, it's a profitable business. It does really well, and they've got like all these ships they have contracts with.
Only you would find something like this.
Look at this thing. Like literally, it's like $11. Now it's 28. But the problem is it's so small cap. The another one is this one's called Lindblad Expeditions. I can't even say it. But basically, they have like expedition, like much smaller ships. But these ships are like for exploration type things. Like you could go to like Antarctica with this thing. Look at this. It went from freaking $10, $11 in 2025 to now almost $30. And this is still a very small company, like 1.9 billion. But yeah, I missed it. Now I'm afraid to buy them, even though they probably have potential to go higher. I'm just like, whatever.
You know what's interesting, Chris? I don't think people realize how many companies are in a bear market right now, and the markets are still near all-time highs. Coinbase is down roughly 70%. Oracle, like 58%. Salesforce around 60%. ServiceNow around 55%. Netflix is in a bear market from record highs, down roughly 48%. Palantir, as of this morning, was 48% also. Microsoft is about 35%. Meta around 30%. ARM Holdings, more than 25%. Same with Broadcom. And Marvell's down 20%. Then you look at the ones that are not in a technical bear market. NVIDIA 19%, Amazon 19%, Alphabet 17%, CrowdStrike 15%, Apple 14%, Taiwan Semi 12%. What happens if we actually get a rebound in these companies?
Jeez, the AI trade is getting wrecked today, man.
The AI trade has been getting wrecked.
So even among the AI trades, I have it like split up. This is Eli Lilly. It's 1 point. Where is it? Compounders. This is the Bitcoin to AI infrastructure plays. Oh, they're all catching bits today. Surprisingly, chips are down, but the infrastructure plays are up.
Well, like Verdi.
Yeah, this is one of those Ashenberger. I think that's Ashenberger things. Basically, he's super long on all of the Bitcoin to AI conversion plays. Like he's got White Fiber, which is up almost 6% today. I think he's got Clean Spark. I think he's got Riot, and a few of them. I have a couple. I have some spread plays on IREN, and I have a spread play on this company, New Era Energy. But they're like moonshot plays. They're not, and I take advantage of the volatility on this thing. So one of my friends here locally that I was able to meet through social media, he's like, hey, let's hang out, and we were talking, and he was telling me about it, and I was like, screw it, I'll buy some, and it actually worked out really well. So let me see, the mega caps. Palantir's doing the best in the mega cap. Well, technically not a mega cap anymore because it got cut in half, but it was a mega cap. Can you believe Oracle's now 433? Microsoft is up.
Can I remember that Oracle was 135, then shot up, and now it's at 150? Yes, I can, because I bought some yesterday.
The telcos are recovering a little bit today too. All right, corporate bond, Mag 7. Let's see, PIMCO, the BDCs. Yeah, the BDCs are recovering today too. Huh. It is a broader rally. And then
ARCC, man, people sleep on that company.
Which one?
ARCC.
ARCC. Yeah, they're probably one of the best BDCs out there. Ares Capital's BDC. Brookfield. Portfolio challenge. This is my portfolio challenge. Marvell is down. Modine. Eaton. FTI is up. ServiceNow is up. Molina's up. I wonder if this is actually helping me a little bit to actually get to. I'm okay with being in the middle. Like, I don't care if I'm not at the top, but I just don't want to be at the bottom.
I'd rather be in last place right now.
At the bottom.
I'd rather be in last place. There's nowhere else I can go but up.
I was in last place last year. I didn't enjoy that for what is it? The stock combine. Let's see.
Don't you have it on redirect?
No, I haven't. I have to figure out how to do that from GoDaddy because I'm on a lease to own plan for that domain, and I don't think they.
No, it's working. If I do stockdraft.com, it redirects
to what?
Back to the stock combine.
It does?
Yeah, whatever you did works.
I did not do it. I didn't do anything. It wouldn't let me. You might want to open a new window.
No, it does.
Really?
Absolutely.
Hold on a second.
Absolutely, it does.
Let's see. Stockdraft.com. It does. How did that happen?
I don't know. Whatever you did worked.
I didn't do anything, though.
Well, I didn't do anything.
Hold on a second. Are you sure?
I mean, you just did it, right?
I just did. I mean, I'm seeing it. I believe it, but
okay.
Whatever. You can't do anything now.
All right, so go in and let's see how we're doing.
All right, hold on a second. I just want to check my account. I was like, what happened here? Sign in. Okay. Sorry, I have to go to my other screen.
I'm no longer in last.
Okay.
I'm no longer in last, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Ahmed is last. Thank you, Rocket Lab. Ahmed was in the lead all last year. This is like watching Tom Brady, get his ass kicked by the Giants right now. That's what's happening. You know that the Giants are terrible, but at least they're not as bad as Tom Brady is. So sorry, Ahmed, you kicked our ass all through last year. So I don't feel sorry for you being at the bottom right now.
I'm kind of surprised that I'm not at the bottom. I mean, I got Baba in there.
Matt his SpaceX short is helping him, bro. He's got like the most non-AI related companies.
I know.
He's got a few AI companies, but he's got a lot of non-AI companies. Tanner is number 2. Palantir's is Word Performer, but he's got Mercado Libre, Rubrik. He's got a couple of software names. That's probably helping him. Vertiv, Coinbase, Hood is. And then I've got like right there, like Iren and Fluent, which is that small cap. But see, this is the thing about Fluence. Like if everything works out well for them, this thing will be like one of the biggest winners. That's just small cap land. But Molina is doing good. Viva Systems is good. Norwegian is good. And ServiceNow is starting to recover, which is good. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
We got a lot of time left.
Jason is also very committed to all the AI plays. So that's why he's getting hammered right now. He's only got one, which is the fiber play and Honeywell. So
there is a lot of time left in this game. So we'll see. I like my picks.
Yeah, me too. Are there any that you're considering rotating out of and into other things?
No.
No. I will
What am I
wait
going to
until
get out? Here's my problem. What am I going to do? Get out of Oracle down 18% and then have to start from behind? Oracle can rebound. Like CoreWeave can rebound. I'm not getting rid of those.
I am waiting for an IREN move up from a deal being signed. They have energized space right now. I don't know what the holdup in getting a deal is right now, considering that there's crazy amounts of demand. So if anyone here is an IREN investor, please let me know. Like, what is holding up
What's your
IREN right now?
thesis on Iran?
They have a shit ton of connect. Like, what is that? Power that's already secured. And they have a site right now that actually has power. They just need to start building. Like, it's mind-boggling why they don't have like a major hyperscaler guaranteed on it. So I don't know. It's weird, man. Like, look at this, Iran.
And you didn't want to get into CoreWeave.
No, I figured that like the news on this thing would end up carrying it up. You know, their Sweetwater campus right here. Right here, announced energization of 1.4 gigawatts of Sweetwater 1 data center in Texas on May 1st. So, like I said, they've got connect. So what's going on here? You know. So, and they've got their other site, which is starting to produce revenue. So that should help. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this should be a catalyst. Like, I feel like a catalyst is coming. Like they're going to sign a deal with the hyperscaler. But I don't know. CoreWeave also has a lot of debt. That's the other
huge amount,
guys.
Huge amount of debt. No question about it.
And it's already worth a lot on an enterprise side. So they're really good, but I figured IREN, like I said, had a what is it called? A catalyst coming, and then I was going to replace IREN with something else, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Are there any companies in your portfolio you're like, man, maybe I shouldn't have bought this?
Not really. No, I like everything. Yeah, I like everything. Like this time around, I actually did the research on a lot of these names. Like last year, I was just kind of like, okay, there are some names that I had research and some that I was just like, they're small cap. They'll be good. You know, like they've got some things here and there that'll work out for them. So, yeah.
No, I hear you.
Yeah. I took it a little bit more seriously this time. I feel like our timing was just terrible. We picked the data center plays right as the damn market collapsed on this damn thing.
Timing was absolutely terrible, but you know what? That's fine. I know it doesn't even matter because I know that I can't time the markets. Like I know that. I don't try to hide that. I fully know that is one of my biggest things that I can't do.
Time markets? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised by Amit when he picked Bloom Energy, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, interesting. I mean, it plays right into the data center build out thing, but it's kind of
At what point does Bloom Energy become interesting now? Because we know energy is going to be a bottleneck. And if Bloom Energy solves the behind the meter problem, and look what Microsoft just did, and that's one of my big questions. Why would Microsoft sign a 20-year deal if Bloom Energy was like that amazing? Or do they just need that much energy?
No. Bloom Energy, all they do is they take natural gas and turn it into electrons using fuel cells, right? So even if they signed a deal with Exxon is just providing. Exxon's not going to make the turbines, all the other stuff. They're just going to provide the gas, as far as I can tell. And then the Bloom boxes, they should be able to convert that into electricity. So you guys should look into T1 Energy. You know, I looked into it, but then I saw like some report that they had a lot of like Chinese influence, which is fine. I don't mind Chinese influence, to be honest with you, but yeah, like I just saw that, and I wonder if there's going to be some pushback against that from regulators or whatnot. So, because I know some parts of like the Chinese, like what are they called? Components are not allowed in the U.S. So, yeah, Leopold's NVIDIA puts our printing. Yup. Yes,
You got it right.
He definitely
In
got
the
it
short
right.
term, you got it right.
He's got puts on a lot of things, but that's the thing. Like, this guy knows what he's doing, man. He's like, he just shit. I wish I could just give him my money. You're like, yo, Leopold, take my money. Give me those returns, man.
So let's end on this. Did you see what California's looking to do with the wealth tax on billionaires?
No.
5%. It's going on.
Really?
It looks like it's going to make it on the ballot.
I thought that got deaded.
Gavin Newsom just came out a couple hours ago and did a whole thing about it. And Polymarket, I believe, let me try to find it.
Wait, didn't he just put it's time for national billionaires tax and a new social contract? 10% of Americans own 2/3 of the wealth. Wages have stagnated. The cost of living has skyrocketed. Fix your state first. Like, just stop the waste and abuse before you start asking for more money. Maybe figure out where your existing revenue and funding is basically eating your state. I mean, when I go to California, dude, doesn't look like the best place on the planet. Like, it's just saying, like, when me and you went there, it was nice, but it wasn't like, oh my God, like this is awesome. You know?
I happen to think Venice Beach was really nice.
Yeah.
I
didn't get to go there. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there needs to be more accountability in terms of like how the money is actually used, rather than just, hey, just give us the money and we promise we'll spend it right. And it's like, you can't even balance your own budgets. Like you operate under massive deficits.
So
like maybe you're not the best people to give any money to.
California is officially set to vote on a one-time 5% tax on assets of billionaires this November. 36% chance this passes, according to Polymarket.
I guarantee that if this goes through once, it'll come back in another 5 years.
Here's my problem.
And then it'll come back again.
This is not political. This is common sense. We went to war over having to pay the British. Okay. This is un-American, first off. Second, this is not going to stop. 5% tax on the assets of billionaires, not cash. Keyword there is assets. That means, and look, if you're a billionaire, most likely you don't have $1 billion liquid cash. A lot of that is in stock. If you have to now pay a tax on stock in a company that you founded that's not even public, that's a big problem.
Yeah, most of them are just going to basically borrow against it.
Okay, borrow against it, but it's the ramifications that, what about when they decide, you know what, this needs to become annual? And then what happens when this becomes people with 100 million, and then people with 50 million, then 10 million, then 1 million? Could you imagine?
Well, that's what's going to happen.
Could you imagine this getting to the point where there's a millionaire tax, 5%? Think about this. If you have a net worth of $1 million, 5% tax on that is 50 grand. That includes your house. So you are now talking about getting taxed on unrealized capital gains. This needs to never pass, ever, because the ripple taxes were supposed to be for the top, 10% of Americans or top 5% of Americans, and now it's every American. This was a wartime aspect that was supposed to be a limited time for a limited amount of people. Like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree, man.
No. We already get taxed on that. It's called property tax. No. You are getting charged property tax to fund your police department, your schools, your fire department, your roads, and everything else in your community. This is a 5% asset tax across the board. This has nothing to do with property taxes. If this goes through, mark my words, billionaires This will not stick to billionaires. So when we say we don't care about billionaires, we should. We absolutely should, because this is how taxes started in the first place. Period. I'm so angry over this.
I mean, you don't live in California, man. It's okay.
Yeah, but
There's 50
it has broader implications. If this happens in California, I'm in the next state that it happens to.
Probably. Now you got a bunch of socialists running New York, man.
I'm in the next state that this happens to. And then it starts trickling down to all these other areas.
The socialist caliphate of New York.
I'm just saying, like, everybody should be angry about this and really understand that this has big implications, because the word millionaire is used so derogatory now. And there's a lot of net worth millionaires out there when you think about adding the price of somebody's home they own. And they do not. And there's net worth millionaires that live paycheck to paycheck. Imagine having to come up with 50 grand on the spot.
How is the caliphate doing, by the way? I haven't been to the caliphate in a while.
Listen, it's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Great chicken farm, great pizza, you know.
Yeah, that's why you visit the caliphate. You don't live there.
I'm just saying, this is not good. And this would be horrible for the stock market. This would be horrible for the economy. It'd be horrible for jobs. It would just be bad in general.
You know, it's funny. Me and Matt were talking about possibly moving to New York City so we can hang out with you and Amit all the time. And
you guys should.
I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll buy like I'm not gonna do it by myself, but I said to him, might not be a bad idea to buy like a townhouse and just turn it into a pied de terre, you know, where we could just come and go as we please. I mean, it's only an hour and a half flight.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is?
Mm-hmm.
You start getting into that area about the taxes on second homes if you don't live in the state.
Well, that's the thing. You do, right? So we'll buy it under your name. So this way,
great.
We need a
front
what
man?
is it called? We need a front man. You know,
Great.
This is my primary home, of course.
Great.
You know, New York County is not going to look at Kings County, or I think you're in Queens, right? So Queens County.
Great. We need a front man. Just what I want.
Yeah.
Just what I need. But no, in all seriousness, this cannot pass. This cannot pass. Cannot pass. It'd be horrible for the stock market, everybody. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to do a full-blown X post about it.
I don't think it's going to be a bad thing, man. Just relax. It's like whatever. Like Jensen's net worth moves more than 5% a day right now. I think he'll be fine if he has to pay 5. You know.
I mean, it's the implication of it.
No, the challenge that I think we need to be more cautious of is that if this happens at the federal level, because the thing is, the K-shaped economy is something that we need to be careful of. The more people at the bottom level that don't get at least some basic level of services, if they can't meet them, they will rise up. Like the generational wealth gap between what boomers own right now in terms of like value and what Gen Z and millennials have it's stark. It's really stark. And so right now, I mean, I see it online where boomer hate is real. Like people hate boomers.
Hate
boomers. So I'd say we got to be careful, because at some point the boomers are going to die. Enough boomers will die off to the point where their will is no longer going to be projected in the halls of Congress. And instead, you're going to get a whole bunch of millennials that are in debt that are going to be like, we need to start doing asset seizures of these old time boomers and put them all in nursing homes. You know, so we're talking about extending people's lives. And these people are like, I need these boomers to leave so I can afford a house. You know, so we gotta be careful. The one thing, did you see the bill on housing affordability? I thought that was really good. It passed bipartisan.
Yeah. Listen,
sounds good.
I don't hate that. I've been saying for a long time, I have a very big problem with corporations buying individual homes. I don't care if
Yeah.
corporations buy a 4-family or an apartment building. I could give a shit. But individual single-family homes, co-ops, apartments, townhouses, I have a problem with it because it's one thing for me and you to bid on the same property. It's another thing for me and you to bid against BlackRock or Blackstone or one of these entities.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
fair.
It's not
It's
fair.
not fair, yeah.
Player versus player, baby, not player versus corporation.
Now, it's funny because there are certain, like, every time that something like this comes up, they'll like, well, we only own like 0.1% or 1% of all the active, all the single family homes in America. But what they don't tell you is that what they do is they do regional carve outs. Like there are certain regions where they have a overrepresentation of corporate owned single family homes. So they're basically taken over a region and turned it all into rentals. Right. So those are the things that you can't let happen. Like it's just, yeah. And a lot of them were able to get cheap financing during the great financial crisis. And they're not exactly the model tenants either. Neighborhoods always complain about, like, whatever.
All right, let's
We also do need more policies on people building more homes also in certain parts of the country. Like I feel like New York City is one of those like weird places where they don't build enough homes and then at the same time they freeze the rent and prevent anyone from actually being able to reinvest in more housing stock. And then they wonder why rents are high. It's like the dumbest thing. Like I'll never understand it. Like you basically make things unaffordable and then blame everything on unaffordability, and then you go after the landlords, and then you freeze the rent, and then what do the landlords do? They can't build anymore. They don't have the capital.
It's very difficult. I don't know, Chris. I don't even know where to get started on it. The whole thing is wild, and I'm actually shocked to where housing prices still are. I'm really shocked. I don't know where everybody is getting the money to afford a lot of this stuff.
What do you mean? Like
the cost of living is getting crazy.
That's because the top 10, 20% of the people are doing 70% of the spending. The rest are struggling, man. It's like people are carving out like a day-to-day existence. Like the one thing I saw that it kind of like saddened me a little bit is a lot of people having to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make it. And I think that's sad. Like a human's life is not just work, and then die, like, no, I mean, people should theoretically have, enough to the point where they can actually like live a good life on a 40-hour work week, even if that means you'd be married and stuff. I do think that sometimes people make really bad decisions in terms of like where they locate themselves. Like here's an example. If I'm making like $10, $15, $20 an hour, I would not live in New York City. I'd be like, no, New York is not for me. I'd probably move to like a very, very low cost state with much more affordable housing prices and better job prospects. And a lot of times people don't want to do that. People want to just live in the coast because that's where all the fun is. And it's like, bro, I know friends right now that are like, man, it's really hard. I'm struggling in New York City, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, why don't you move out? You're paying like $3,800 for a single bedroom. Half, I think your monthly check, like half of it is going towards the rent. Like, why don't you move? He's like, yeah, but like I like to get my bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning and coffee. And I'm like, what do you
can make that?
It's like, what are you, stupid? Like, just move, dude. Move to a lower cost area. You're probably, I'm sure that you're going to take a pay cut, but it's not going to be nearly as much as paying half your income to the rent.
I'm going to say some things that are going to get me in trouble, and I don't care. We need to unbrainwash this country about certain things. One of them is college. I am all for higher education, but let's call a spade a spade. There's a lot of people spending a lot of money on college on degrees that just don't command salaries that make sense to spend that type of money if, big if you are taking out student loans. If you come from a family where your parents are paying for your college and they are well off and they're able to, it's a little bit of a different story. But we have a lot of people that are racking up so much student debt that they're coming out of college. Like, my biggest gripe, why would you go to a school like Brown for liberal arts? The amount of money you're going to spend on that is insane.
I will say this to you. I think college education should be free, but only in fields that are absolutely necessary for society and we have a shortage of. You want to be if you want to do engineering, free. You want to be a nurse, free. If you want to do criminal justice, free. If you want to be a lawyer, free. But if you want to
work in the field for 10 years, it gets paid back.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything that's actually critical to like the goal of the country moving forward, make it free. I'd rather
spend taxpayer dollars on stuff like that than other things. In all seriousness.
Yeah.
And the other thing, like, I don't want to say anything incorrect.
Just to say, what is it? You show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. Like right now, we're short on engineers. Just make engineering free. Make computer science free. Now if you want to do some dumb shit.
On my chair. For the 25-26 academic year, the total direct and indirect cost of attendance for a full-time undergraduate student at Brown University. Take a guess what the number is.
It's probably like $60,000.
$99,984 per year. This includes tuition and fees. You ready for this? $71,700 a year tuition plus $2,950 a year in fees. Total cost $74,650. Housing on campus $10,410. Food plan $8,100. Books and materials $1,300. Personal expenses $2,820. Annual total before aid $99,984. 4-year total before any aid $399,936. And people come out of Brown with a liberal arts degree. Like, it blows my mind that college is this expensive for degrees that just don't command. Like, if you're going to make $400,000 a year out of college, or your path over the next 5 to 10 years is $400,000, all right, you'll be able to pay that back. But you're strapping yourself with so much debt if you're not getting aid or anything. Like, these numbers are crazy.
The reason why these colleges, the reason why they can actually do this is because the government came in and said, here, we will give you these loans that we will guarantee.
Let me blow your mind even further, because you grew up near me. Okay.
Yeah.
Hofstra, you ready? Not just going to pick on an Ivy League. You ready for Hofstra? Mm-hmm. And let everybody know if I'm wrong. Okay. When I went to high school, Hofstra was your safe school. Hofstra and CW Post were the safe schools that you applied to if you grew up on Long Island. Those are your safe schools. Okay. Mm-hmm. Am I incorrect with that?
No.
Okay. 59,000.
CW Post is LIU. So
LIU. Made the tournament, baby. $59,958 per year for both in and out of state. That's how much their tuition and fees are. That doesn't even include housing. Yeah. The total cost of attendance last year, $78,792 per year for Hofstra. Like, what are we doing?
It's sad. It's real sad, man.
And people wonder why they're stuck in debt that go spend this type of money on college. Like, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with going to community college for 2 years and get all your basic credits done, get good grades, and then apply to a 4-year and try to get it at a discounted price. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know, man. The other thing is colleges have become nothing but like a nanny environment. Like they did a graph of how many college professors there are and per student, and it's kind of stayed flat. But then you look at like the number of administrators, and it's like exploded. There's like deans of like the weirdest thing, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna say this really. It's not. It's funny. Me and my wife yesterday, we were driving, right, and she was telling me about how in college, like her and her friend took a class on African cinema. I'm guessing that it was probably an elective that you needed to take to graduate. So she took it, and I was like, "Oh, interesting. So what's your favorite African movie?" And she's like, she doesn't know what her favorite African movie was. I was like, okay, what's, so she was like telling me about Burkina Faso. I was like, so what's the capital of Burkina Faso? She didn't know. So what did you learn?
I don't even know. I don't know what to say anymore about this stuff. I'm annoyed at the electives. I'm annoyed at just everything with it about 128 credits. You have to take certain bullshit.
What weird electives did you take?
They made me take a cinema elective to fulfill a freaking some stupid requirement. I had to watch stuff like Citizen Kane and that type of. It's like, really?
I took Bollywood appreciation because I was like, well, I'm Indian, so I've probably seen most of these movies anyways. I just watched Bollywood movies for that thing. I took Spanish. What else? What are some of the dumb things that I took just to get my credits?
Like if I don't want accountants having to take music, have them take finance and math and that type of stuff.
Golf
classes. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Someone took bowling and golf.
Amazing.
Kayaking. Let's see.
I could talk about this forever. It is such a sore spot for me, as I think that we are wasting talent and we are putting people in debt for no reason.
One class that I did take that I found actually really good, Hinduism 101. I took Hinduism, which was like an elective. I figured, shit, I'm a Hindu. I know most of this stuff. This is an easy A for me. And the teacher was this white guy. Steven, I kid you not. He knew more about my religion than I knew about my religion. And he was like telling us things. I was like, bro, I'm about to go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He wasn't a Hare Krishna, but this guy just knew everything about Hinduism. And it was actually one of the better classes that I took, actually. Okay. So, not all electives are garbage. Some of them are actually really good. I took an elective on Germany during World War II. Like, it focused a lot on basically like the different like tragedies, like how the Holocaust actually happened. What were some of the causes, and it was a lot of like Nazi. Like, it tried to get you to understand how people were brainwashed into Nazism. I
mean, like, I'm not going to go down the road of all colleges bad, because obviously it's not. I just have a very big problem with the way that it's structured and the amount that it costs. Those are my two problems with it, because I think we're setting Americans up to fail from the beginning. And that's a big problem for me. Like, I don't want the youth to be set up to fail.
Yeah. So I don't know. Society's different, man. I think the one thing I'll tell people, though, my advice to anyone who's like who's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, learn how to save and learn how to invest and learn how to do it early, because compounding works so good. So good. Even if you get a subpar return every year, as long as it compounds every year, you'll do really good. Even if, let's say, you got a 5% return and it compounds on itself, and you're able to consistently compound that 5% for like 20 years, you're sitting on a big chunk of change. And so every time you're 20, 21 and you have that impetus to go out and blow your money on dumb things, just ask yourself, like, you're basically stealing from your own future self. Yep. That's it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Live your life too. Don't get me wrong. Like, don't be one of those people that like, doesn't live your life.
Me. Don't be like me.
I lived my life. I had a great time in my 20s. Like, the memories I have of my 20s, it's a lot of blackout drinking.
All right, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Space Mob. We're not going to let Chris finish that. We don't want him to get in trouble. Space Mob, ASTS is up 11%, ladies and gentlemen. ServiceNow, 8.28%. We are getting life breathed into it. Rocket Lab launched 91 on its way to orbit. 11th this year per Matt Money.
How do we convince this guy? If this thing gets back over like $120, $130, how do we convince Matt to buy some goddamn puts? Like, we really got to figure out how to do this for him, man. Like, I don't know how much peer pressure we can apply to this guy to just have him buy some protective puts.
Hold on. Can I stream, Matt? Can I stream this without getting dinged?
What is it?
The launch?
Probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. But yeah, Rocket Lab is streaming it right now. Palantir, 113. Zeta trying to get back to 19. Likely as long. I mean, listen. All right. I'm going to stream it for like 1 sec. Hold on. I'm not going to say this isn't impressive. This is impressive. Okay. It's absolutely impressive. What they're doing. It's impressive. But I mean, look, the numbers. This is very impressive. I'm not going to try to convince Matt to buy puts anymore. Like I said my piece, he can do what he wants.
I'm just saying, Matt, if this thing gets back to 150, please just buy some puts and call it a day, man. Just you'll sleep better at night. And if you never need them, whatever. But if you do,
it's insurance.
It's insurance. That's right. You don't drive a Ferrari without insurance. So.
100%. All right. Wendy's up 5% today. Salesforce,
a real friend would buy puts for me. Tell me how many shares you got, and I'll buy some.
I don't know if you want to make that statement, Chris.
Why? Oh yeah, he does have a lot.
Because I know how many shares he has. I don't know you want to make that statement.
Yeah. Nah, screw you, man. Go buy your own puts, you greedy bastard.
Reddit 163, SoFi 1780, Tesla 386, Siri 28, Meta 554, CrowdStrike 691, SpaceX 155, Amazon 230, Costco 954, QXO's over 18. Who's down? SanDisk is down 7.86%. Nokia is at 13. Nebby is down 6.5%. Marvell 267. Micron 1166, coming back a little bit. CoreWeave 95.45. Cisco 115. AMD 522. Broadcom 371. Oracle 150. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it here.
Oil is down. I like it.
Oil is 69.34. Very good. Very good. All right. I'm going to end it. If you're going to go watch Tanner, please use rainbows in the chat and spam him with rainbows.
Wait, what's Tanner doing? Tanner's going live right now?
He's live, yeah.
All right. Let's see if he'll let us join. I'd like to mess with Tanner.
All right. I'll call him right now. Hold on.
All right.
I'll call him live. Let's see if Captain Sleepy Time picks up.
Of course I'll pick up.
Maybe.
What's up?
Hey, Chris and I are live.
Send us an invite.
Send us the link. We want to come on.
But you're live right now.
We're going to end my stream.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to come on your stream.
We're going to come on your stream.
All right, bye.
Yeah. I'll send you a link.
All right, bye.
All right, we'll see you guys on Tanner's live.
All right. So bombard Tanner with rainbows, everybody. I will see everybody later at 3:45 for the close, since Amit is not able to do it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. If you enjoyed the stream, please like and subscribe, and go follow Chris on X. See everybody in a couple hours. Thank you very much.